So I got up and chased after it. That's the story Josh would like to hear.
Be quiet so they can tell the story.
Okay, are we ready to hear the story now?
Ready to go.
Yes. It's when we lived on the farm in a little town, Cove, Oregon, about 353 people. Population never changes. And we lived in a farm up Canyon Road. And it was Christmas time. There was snow on the ground, and I had to have been, my sister Kathy was 2 years younger than myself, and my brother was 2 years older. And so Kathy was a baby, and Mother had told us we have to go to bed before Santa comes. Do you guys believe that? Well, we did. But we were still up, and Mother had given her a bath, and we were sitting in the kitchen, and Mama had Kathy on her lap. And all of a sudden, guess what? We heard the sleigh bells on the roof. And Mother jumped up, dropped Kathy on the floor, and we all got ourselves together, and did we ever go to bed, because we knew that Santa was on the rooftop. She's healthy and has a big boy of her own now, 23 years old.
Story two.
This is story 2 that we wanted to tell.
Oh, sorry.
And this is a story to really show that the Lord does undertake. When I became a Christian when I was 18, none of my family were born again. And so I was very fervently praying for my grandfather DeBorde, John Franklin DeBorde, who I dearly love, my mother and dad, my sister. And so Grandpa, I would talk to him about the Lord, and he'd always say, well, I don't understand why God lets little children suffer. And he would ask me questions that I couldn't answer. He was not at all. He just didn't understand those things. He had to know those things. So every year he used to go up often and stay on the home place that I just told you about in a little, in a root cellar, and up above it there was a little apartment up there, up a long ways from nobody. I think the only church in the town was the old Grange, maybe the Adventist had at that time. I don't know whether they did or not. Still had some people there. But he went up there that winter, and when he came back down that spring, he was sitting up in Mom and Dad's front room, and he said, you know, a funny thing happened, and I prayed all that time that God would send someone to teach him about the Lord. And so he said a funny thing happened. He said he was cooking bacon one morning, and he heard a knock on the door. And he opened the door, and he said there was a young fellow there that had a Bible. And he said he came in, and he sat down with me, and he said he taught me about God. My father was sitting there when he told me. He said it was a funny thing. He would never eat with me, and I never knew where he came from. And he said when it snowed, I went out, and I couldn't see any footsteps when he left. So, you know, I always have believed that that was an angel that God sent to him, because after that I went out and prayed with him, and he accepted the Lord. And he was 87 years old when he died, and he knew Jesus, and will have his part in heaven. So I think we had a divine angel. There was no one to come, and it was remote, but we just praise God for that experience.